Hey there YouTube, it's the Recreative here. This week's TFYTC homework is titled My House is on Fire, or words to that effect. And basically the summary of this homework is that your collection is in danger of being destroyed or whatever from a fire or whatever it happens to be. And this isn't to say you would choose certain bots over the essentials. This is basically the bots you would take along with the essential things that you'll need. So you've already got just what you'd need to survive, I don't know, but this is just the stuff along with that. The original video idea, I can't remember the person's name, can't remember the channel name, but I will put a link to it in the description for you guys to check out after this video. This video is just going to be my personal choices. For mine, I've picked 5 different bots, and the way I worked it out was that I've got 5 bots, but kind of 4 reasons, I guess 4 kind of subheadings as to why I would choose these bots over other bots. So I'm going to start with one subheading, which is like a fun bot, like my fun bots. So I've got 2 fun bots. So these bots would be kind of the figures that I would take because they're nice to transform, you know, that they're fun to mess around with, you know, for that sort of reason. So the first one is the TF Prime Wheeljack, which, to be honest, this mould is a really fantastic toy. You know, it's fantastic to play around with. Really any Wheeljack mould will do, because they're all, you know, basically the same. But this one I like simply because of the clear blue plastic on him, and like the translucent red as well. Like, I really like the design of this guy, and I would take this for the reason of it being fun. You know, it's a fun figure to play around with, to mess around with, that sort of thing. So that's why I would choose TF Prime Wheeljack. The next fun bot is a bit of an older one, but it's still probably just as fun as the TF Prime Wheeljack, and it is RID Scourge. Now, of course, I would take his trailer as well, but his trailer, it's, I think, over there somewhere. It's not accessible to me right now. But no, it's a really fun toy, you know, fun to transform. It's a really easy transformation as well. It's very quick, you know. So if I'm bored, if the rest of my collection is gone, and obviously I'm going to be a bit upset about that, this will take my mind off it, you know, because it's fun to transform. It's easy to just convert from robot to truck, back to robot, you know. And plus this sword is really nice as well, so that's another bonus, I suppose. But yeah, he's just a really fun figure. And also, if I'm ever feeling a little bit down, I can just hold his head up to the sun or to a lamp or something, and it just makes me infinitely happier, because the light piping is fantastic. So those are the 2 fun bots. Now this next figure would come under, in my personal opinion, best representation of a figure. Now, this figure is actually a third-party figure, so it's not like it's an official thing or whatever, but that wasn't in the rules. So, but then also, this figure comes under the fun category as well. Even though the transformation is not exactly fun, but the figure is amazing to play around with and fun. So I've gone for Make Toys Striker Manus. Yeah, so this figure is really fun to mess around with, you know, fun to get into different poses, because the articulation on this guy is ridiculous. Honestly, I love this figure a lot, and the reason I've chosen this one over a lot of other figures that are good representations is just, for me, there's as what I've said, he's a really fun figure to mess around with. You know, it's just a good figure to have around. You know, transformation may not be as easy as I'd like it to be. I think I've only transformed it twice. I think twice. You know, you know, it's just an all-round amazing figure, and it's personally for me a very good representation of. On a quick side note, you should probably know that I wasn't thinking clearly whilst talking about Striker Manus, when clearly I should have picked Striker Noir. Simple fact is that A is Nemesis Prime, and B, you get so many different weapon combinations with this guy over Striker Manus. I was not thinking clearly, and yeah, just swap out everything I said about Striker Manus and put that onto Striker Noir, and also note that he is Nemesis Prime and therefore superior, as you were. The next figure on this shortlist comes under the category of rarity. Now, for this category is more like it's a great figure to have around, and it's, you know, it's nice to mess around with, nice to play with, whatever, nice to transform back and forth. But ultimately, if it ever came to it, if you'd need to, you know, raise up funds to then start buying the other essentials, then this would be one of the first ones to go, simply because of its worth. And personally, to me, like this one, because obviously personally this figure for me, I've only seen this once or twice around, so this one, in my opinion, would be a good one to take with me, just for the reason of I could sell it on, and then it could get me a lot of income, you know, to then buy the essentials or whatever, you know. And that is the Dark of the Moon Takara Tomy Jetwing Prime, the Nemesis version. Yeah, like I said, I've only seen this a handful of times, maybe around, and I got this at TFN, and I was very surprised to actually see it. But you know, it is a astounding figure. It's amazing to look at. So I would take it as well for the fact that it's amazing to look at. But my main thinking behind this one was that it would generate a lot of money for essentials if it were to be sold. So that's my main reasons behind it. Obviously, as I just said, it's quite a nice figure to look at as well, even though there is a bit too much teal and a bit too much chrome, but regardless, it's a beautiful figure, and that's why I would take it to survive. Now, the final one, the final figure on this list, I only got it maybe a month ago, and I've just fallen in love with it. And this one is really the category of just amazing, just a beautiful figure all round. Like this one, yeah, it's an amazing figure. It's beautiful to look at. The articulation is astounding, especially for how big it is. It's a huge figure. Although the only problem with it that may get you a little bit bored is it doesn't transform. Yeah, but it does make up for it in LEDs and absolute girth. This is the Toys Alliance, I believe. I think it's Mega Action Series. I think it was actually called Toys Alliance Nemesis Prime. So he has red eyes. And a red matrix, which I have just in his hand. So main reason I take this is just because it's such a massive thing. He's a big old boy, honestly. But the articulation is outstanding. You know, he's a beautiful figure to look at. To pose him is brilliant. Just the size of that is ridiculous. I'm gonna put him down now. Yeah, the articulation is astounding, and he's got a massive gun as well. Which I was a little bit disappointed about this. Like, I couldn't be disappointed even if I tried, but one thing that I kind of would have liked in it would be that if it had like another LED in the gun, because it feels quite hollow as well, so I'm sure they could have incorporated it like into a trigger and then have like a red LED in the barrel, I think, probably. You know, it would have added to it, but I'm satisfied with it how it is. You know, it's just as beautiful as it is. So they are my 5 picks for what I would take with me if my house burned down. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.